If you look at lab-grown diamond, we are talking about a topic called diamondtronics, like just your electronic. Instead of silica or Silicon Valley, you may hear Diamond Valley in electronics also. It will make the chips, including the quantum chips.
US's announcement of reciprocal tariff plan and overall current geopolitical scenario, along with I would say there would be some change in the demand patterns which the diamantiers are working towards creating newer and better designs for catering to the millennials, and also obviously with the kind of volatile situation, diamonds and gems and jewellery will always be a luxury item, so it will get impacted.
Welcome viewers to yet another edition of the Secretariat's Economic Show. We are going to talk about diamonds, a girl's best friend. So I have with me Dr. Rupa Dutta, former Principal Economic Advisor to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and I have with me Sabyasachi Ray, well-known expert on diamonds. He is the Executive Director of the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council of India. Quite a famous person in that sense, both of them. So Rupa, I'm going to start with you, Dr. Datta. India's diamond exports have actually been plummeting from something like US dollar 25 billion in 2021 to 18.37 billion in 2024. So what's happening? Why are we facing this decline in a sector which was always one of our big ones?
Let me start and then I'll ask Sabyasachi who will give the trade perspective better. Obviously, there are geopolitical reasons. There is price volatility. Then there's some rise in the lab-grown diamond segment. Traditional diamond markets like USA and I think especially China is showing a decline. US's announcement of reciprocal tariff plan and overall current geopolitical scenario, along with I would say probably there would be some change in the demand patterns which the diamantiers are working towards creating newer and better designs for catering to the millennials, and also obviously with the kind of volatile situation, diamonds and gems and jewellery will always be a luxury item, so it will get impacted. In fact, the total exports I remember 3-4 years back, as you mentioned, was 24 billion, which has now come down to, sad to see that it has now come down to 13.29 billion. But there are I mean, we although I've retired and I'm working with another organization, but we are also doing a good study of the gem and jewellery clusters where diamonds play a big role, and we have been to places like Surat. There's been a lot of good infrastructure. The Surat itself has 3 diamond bourses. The newest one, I think it's called Surat Hira Bourse, is amazing. The kind of technology, the kind of space, the kind of investment. So we expand. GGPC is making a lot of efforts for reviving this sector, traveling all across, making tie-ups. So we expect that this exports will again start increasing.
It should pay off, that's what you feel. Mr. Sabyasachi Ray, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
How badly has the industry in Surat really been hit, and how do you see it reviving?
See, one of the things I always go on hearing that Surat industry has been badly hit and etc. See, where we come from, that first you need to understand is that as an industry, we are one of the most employee-intensive sectors in India, maybe the world also. So if you look at textiles, or if you look at leather, or if you look at gems and jewelry, we are very employee-intensive sector. And because of that, when you talk about us or maybe all these sectors, we are having clusters where this product is manufactured. Now, just now I was hearing you are saying that, okay, the exports have gone down from 24 to 13 billion. Yes, that is a reality in essence, but we'd also like to understand what is the scenario that, of course, as Rupa Madam has told, that we are facing certain headwinds, like geopolitically, there are lesser diamonds in the market because of the Russian diamond sanctions. China is also, as a market, has gone down drastically after COVID. There is a sudden drop in demand from China, which we are all trying to face, and we are trying to come out of that. But another thing, what side by side is happening, if you look at the jewelry exports also, it is studded jewelry exports. If you will see a very robust growth in the exports. In fact, we have seen that after SIPA, a lot of growth in the studded jewelry in the Middle East have also taken place. So if in this backdrop, of course, the new product is also there in the horizon, which is the lab-grown diamond. So in the end of the day, if you look at caratage term, the caratage terms we have seen that is rather it has gone up. Whatever we are exporting, it has gone up if you combine both, laboratory-grown diamonds and the natural diamond. So why I am, stating that because ultimately both the diamonds have to be cut and polished. So you are talking about Surat. Surat is the nursery of all this, whether it is laboratory grown diamonds or natural diamonds. For both, in caratage terms, it has gone up. Somebody is cutting and polishing that. So in the end of the day, of course, in Surat, a lot of cutting and polishing activity has increased due to laboratory grown diamonds. Of course, those are two different verticals because we understand that who are dealing with laboratory grown diamonds and who are cutting and polishing laboratory grown diamonds, they may not be cutting and polishing the natural diamonds. So these are different kind of segments you are talking about. As segment, they are different, but in the end of the day, for workers, this is a job because they want jobs and etc. Now, what has happened, in fact, in due to all these geopolitical problems or loss in demand in China and etc., what has happened is that, of course, as you are seeing, the 24 to 13 billion in natural diamonds is a reality, which you are trying to revive. Also, there is one thing what is happening in the world is that before when De Beers was controlling the worldwide, diamond consumption, they were, selling through the Central Sales Organization of De Beers. I am talking about some 15, 20 years back. They were selling through Central Sales Organization 80% of the diamond throughout the world. So they were taking the produce of all the mines and they are selling through a central organization. That point of time, they were marketing the total marketing spend of De Beers at that point of time, 20 years back, was some $200 million. Right now, as this diamond world is split between, let's say, De Beers, then you have Angola Sodium, then you have Alrosa of Russia. Because of that, this promotional spend has gone down drastically. Not everybody like De Beers was marketing. Angola is not spending on marketing. Alrosa through some years back also are not spending, etc. So one of the things what we are also pushing as Indians, because ultimately we are the largest consumer of rough diamond. So we are telling that why don't you push money into marketing of diamonds? So that is one of the issues what at least at Jewellery Export Promotion Council we are absolutely keyed in, and we are looking at it that how it happens, and I think we are finding out some solutions. Maybe we can create some throughout the world through the efforts to the miners and etc. We are trying to by the end of the year we are trying to create a fund of at least $100 to $150 million through which the diamond as a category will be promoted. Natural diamonds I'm talking about. So all these factors are responsible for some challenges what Surat is facing. The challenges is not in terms of job or job losses. What I think every day you are seeing in media, which now they have decreased. There is no job loss, but yes, per carat, whatever they are getting, that may be a bit lesser because I have told you because of this factor. So their salary levels may be facing certain challenges, which we believe that per carat the diamond value will increase. If it increases, then their salary levels also can be looked at. So this if you are talking about the troubles in Surat, this is the trouble what we are facing right now and how we are trying to address that is what I can tell you just now.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. I understand that margins have been squeezed. Obviously, some wages would have taken a little bit of a hit, but yes, you are right. Rise of lab-grown diamonds is a bright spot for us. Dr. Datta, lab-grown diamonds are rapidly gaining traction, especially amongst young buyers. How big a threat is it? Also, while it's a good thing for us, it's also a threat for natural diamonds. How big is it?
I would like to say that since I have been looking after this, I've been interacting with this industry for the last 12, 13 years. Even pre-COVID, lab-grown diamonds was being, and Sabyasachi will corroborate on this, was being seen as a threat. There was a lot of resentment in the natural diamond industry, say 2016, 17, 18, it was seen as a threat. There would be issues, there would be mixing, etc., etc. A lot of work was done. Separate HS codes have been created. I think now they are subdividing it further. I think there are a lot of meetings happening to ensure that there are two different channels altogether, and obviously with new technologies like blockchain and all, this can be tracked. The best part is post COVID, we went to Surat recently in 2024, and the kind of, I mean, I would request all of you to go and visit the kind of factories which have come up in Surat. Huge factories, very enterprising entrepreneurs, and the kind of machines they are using. Yes, because of the easy access to technology, prices may have fallen. What I understood was that there was a period when there were a lot of people getting into this industry, but now, as it happens, slowly it is the industry itself is stabilized and sifting out the people who are not serious about it. But as I mean, again repeating what Sabyasachi is saying, that this is and this is not today. I remember in 2014-15, I was told by other than Commerce Secretary that this is at that time we also used to look at it with negativity, that this is a new area and this is also where India will win, and that is what India is doing. We are cutting, polishing those diamonds, and there is appears, at least if you look at these factories, talk to these entrepreneurs, and we will be mentioning it in some of our studies and all, there is a lot of potential in that area. I mean, as cutting and polishing, whether it's natural or lab grown, but it's diamonds, and because the prices are more reasonable, so I would say that lot much more affordability. There are so many new shops being set up in Delhi itself on lab grown diamonds, or green diamonds as they are calling them. So it has its own area, own sector, own employment potential, and own market, so to say.
Mr. Sabyasachi Ray, India is becoming a global hub for lab-grown diamonds too, but prices are also dropping. So, do you see this as a challenge or as an opportunity, and how are we actually going forward with this?
This is a very good question. Because throughout the world, we always see that people in the newspaper, media, everybody is pitching the lab-grown diamonds with the natural diamond. As Gem Jewellery Export Promotion Council, our mandate is to promote each of the products equally. So let us see where it is an opportunity and where it is a threat, if so. So if you look at just now when you have asked me the previous question, so we were looking from the Indian perspective. So if you look at the diamond world, now India is a big consumer of the plain gold jewelry. India is not that big consumer of diamond jewelry. Let's say today also, after so many things also, still India is around 4 to 5% of the total pie of the total diamond jewelry what is consumed across the world. So if you look from so we are mainly for us diamonds, we are looking at it mainly for giving us job, giving us export. So if you look from that side of the pie, and as I have explained, that is a great opportunity. Now I'll tell you where from the government came in. When our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave a lab-grown diamond to Jill Biden, a lot of people asked that you are such big in natural diamonds, why your Honorable Prime Minister is also giving that lab-grown diamonds and trying to popularize. Now I'll tell you that where from we were coming. See, the Indian government have, if you see all the other industries, if you look at the tech-driven industry, this is one technology area where India has a huge opportunity of upstaging maybe other countries of the world, maybe China. So why will we not take the opportunity? That was what the Indian government's perspective. This is one area, and yes, because of that today, throughout the world, in CVD diamond, which is called one way of manufacturing or growing lab-grown diamond, we are the market leaders, controlling around 15 to 25% of the total pie of CVD diamond production and marketing in across the world. So that way, we have built in a huge ecosystem of production of that. We have already built up with the government funding a very good ecosystem of research, so that new technological research is happening in IIT, which is called INSENT. That is working very well. And the future of lab-grown is looking to be very good. Not only in jewelry maybe in as time goes, in our opinion, jewelry will not be that huge as the industrial usages of lab-grown diamond. If you look at lab-grown diamond, we are talking about a topic called diamondtronics. Like just your electronic, instead of silica or Silicon Valley, you may hear Diamond Valley in electronics also. It will make the chips, including the quantum chips. You can search the web and you can find that Germany is already investing a lot of money into the research that how lab-grown can be used in quantum chips. Right now, the IIT, the INSENT have already invented, on the lab-growns, how it can come into GPUs and etc. So all these industrial usage of lab-grown diamonds are going very well. And if you look at the, let's say, you are talking about the jewelry type of lab-grown diamonds, I can tell you the production pie in India in only 3 years. In Indian production in lab-grown diamonds has grown or growing has grown from 3 million carats to 15 million carats in exports. You can look at the data, you will find. I do not think that any other industry you can see this kind of quantum growth has happened in any kind of industry. So, when you look from the manufacturing side of it, when you look at the workers side of it, giving employment, when you look at the export side of it, this is creating a huge opportunity for us. Now, if you look at pitting against the natural diamonds and etc., that is to the consumer to decide. Now, today, let's say Rupa Madam is sitting here, she's a lady. She will go to the shop to buy a diamond and etc. Then she has to decide whether she will buy a natural lab-grown diamond. Now I will come to you for a consumer behavior. This is one of the issue every day we face. We sell luxury goods. I think you have reported for a long time. Luxury goods does not sell because the prices they are cheaper. LVMH bag you do not buy because it is some shop will give you some $10 cheaper or maybe 10,000 cheaper. You buy it for the sake of it to show you the world that this is what you want to flaunt it. So luxury is like that. So diamond is a luxury product as a category in this world. Very few category goods can be marketed as a luxury, which De Beers have done. So when you talk about diamonds are forever, we are telling we are taking a luxury goods which is forever. You buy a luxury car, someday you have to throw it away at any other price or without a price. You buy a LVMH bag, someday you will throw it out without a price or whatever it is. It is a product which today Sophia Loren's diamond jewelry is still flaunted, maybe by the next generation, maybe another generation. So this is today also in Christie's how the diamonds are selling. So this is where we are with a product which has its own value, it grows, and not only that, the antique value grows more. So it is a luxury product you're talking about. Lab-grown diamond is not a luxury product. So it is a different category what you're talking about. So what we have seen as an opportunity today, let's say in US, which consumes 50% of the diamond or the diamond jewelry. So if you go to the shops, there are two kinds of purchase which happens. One is a bridal, another is daily wear. So in the daily wear, it has seen a quantum jump because today, you can go to different parties wearing different kind of diamonds and etc. So that because of that, where you used to wear maybe one set of ring or one set of bracelet, you are wearing some 4 sets of bracelet. This has been given because everyday wear when you go to the office and etc. Lab grown has come out as a boon. But at the same time, when it is in the luxury segment, when you go to the very upscale party and etc., still diamond rule the roof. So diamond demand has not grown down. In fact, the usage or per carat per consumer has gone up. So that way, it is a huge opportunity because tomorrow, this aspiration though somebody can buy a lab-grown diamond, the aspiration will remain always in this consumer to go for the luxury product with the diamond. So this aspiration you are creating for somebody who could not have bought a diamond, they are buying now a lab-grown diamond. Tomorrow they'll buy because everybody is buying a diamond. They are not buying nobody buys a laboratory-grown diamond. They are buying a diamond. So in the end of the day, what we are trying to say is that this has created a growth of the demand. And a different segment of lab grown will remain. Maybe we will see more, just like how the fashion jewelry market has behaved, and that it will go down to the fashion jewelry and lab grown or natural diamonds will remain as a luxury product. This is what we look at it. So for us, it is an opportunity.
Wonderful. I think that explains a lot. I mean, you will sell ghost diamonds and you will sell also lab-grown diamonds for those women who don't want their best friend in the real natural form. But Dr. Datta, coming back to the government policies, we saw this government especially has removed import duties on LGT seeds, which is an important thing. It's really given a huge grant to IIT Madras for R&D on LGT. How crucial are these policy changes and what else can we expect from the government? And I'm going to ask Sabyasachi after this what he wants from the government.
That is a tough question because, post-retirement, I may not be able to be fully tuned. I know about the IIT Chennai and that there are a lot of, interactions with the concerned department, which is DPIIT. and regular usage of funds and monitoring. And but for the rest of it, government is positive. Specifics, I think you have to ask the trade people, but government is positive. Government also feels, as I said, not today, 10 years back also this feeling came that India can play a bigger role in this. But there is a lot of infrastructure which is happening all across Surat and more than Mumbai, Surat, where all this cutting and polishing, and which I think will also involve a lot of lab grown diamond scenario, and these more and more newer factories coming out. So it is basically government, I would say, is playing the role of a catalyst, more like a facilitator, but private sector, as it has happened for the entire gem and jewellery industry, private sector has really come up well, and they are at least that's what I felt when I visited the hubs, and they are really taking the opportunity, in both, grabbing it by both hands and trying to move up the value chain in terms of what we saw in terms of better refined and more lightweight but more fashionable jewellery, the point which Sabyasachi was making. But rest of the details, I think you would be.
I think I'm going to turn to Mr. Roy. The GST rate is now quite stable at 3%, and I think that's useful. That's helping a lot of investment come into the sector. But what would you wish to see? What is your wish list from the government in the coming budget or in other announcements that the government might make?
See, one of the wish lists with the government is that, because as we have always told, is one of the things which is coming as a big threat, as I have just now mentioned, that 50% of the diamond demand comes from the US. So US is a big market for us, and any changes there or any tariff there on our product will go a long way into affecting our sector in a very adverse fashion. Now, you will ask that, okay, it is for everybody, but the difference between us and them, today, if you look at US tariff, they are talking about a base tariff of 10%. Now, this is exactly what a lot of people in the country talks about, that, oh, jewellery, just now as they have told, GST is 3%, other goods are 5%, 18%, 10%, why jewellery is 3%, they should be also like that. But when you talk about jewellery, you should not talk in the percentage terms. If you remember, during 1991 and afterwards, the gold duty, import duty, was on, let's say, 250 rupees per 10 grams or something like that. So that was always on a block, a quantum. Why it is on a quantum? Percentage never works for gems and jewellery, because so you are sitting with a porcelain cup, isn't it? So the porcelain, let's say, per carat of porcelain will be costing how much? I do not know, maybe a 10 paisa or something like that. At the same time, that per carat of diamond will cost $500,000. So this is where so you should not compare in percentage. So when you talk about base import duty of percentage, 10% on a jewellery or a diamond, and on something other products or food or any other item, it is a totally different thing altogether. So today, then if suppose one consumer, a general consumer, was buying yesterday with $10 a piece, suddenly it becomes, let's say, or $500,000. So if you put 10% of $500,000, suddenly that income cannot rise to that level. So that is a huge jump so the demand will then go down drastically, at least in the short term. So that is what is one of the demands with the government. Immediately, we are working with the government very diligently, so that, the main demand is to see that how this US tariff, at least for diamonds, you can see that there is no tariff on the import of diamonds. I'm not talking about jewellery, I'll come to that later. So if you look at diamond, right now the MFN tariff is 0. Now, if you look at US tariff, there are 3 parts to it. One is, of course, the base tariff, as we have told. Another is the country-specific reciprocal tariff, which is different for different countries. And the third thing is the product-specific tariff. Now, when you talk about the product-specific tariff, you will tell that where is product-specific tariff. If you go to that tariff notification, there is an Annexure 2 into the notification. Annexure 2, in which 26 products have been given a waiver from the reciprocal tariff notification. So that waiver is true for gold, silver, platinum. So we understand those are raw materials which are used by US for exporting of the product, or at least manufacturing in their place. So if you look at Indian export, some $6 billion to $7 billion of diamond itself. So that is only diamond, that is not diamond jewellery. So if you talk about that $5 to $6 billion of diamond, that is going to US for manufacturing, isn't it? So it is helping their manufacturing industry. So this is one argument what we are trying to sell to the US, to the government, that if you have given a waiver to the raw materials like gold, silver, platinum, why not this? So if you have asked me for one of the demands to the government, this is one big demand right now. What we are looking very eagerly what negotiation in US Indian government is doing. In fact, not only our government, we have also put through the world diamond industry the same demand. In fact, the US jewelers or the US constituents or stakeholders, they are also demanding the same thing, because ultimately they take these diamonds and nobody wears the diamond sticking to their forehead or something. It goes to jewelry. It goes for jewelry manufacturing and then it's sold anywhere in the market or retail. So this is one big demand with the government, what we are looking at. And the second demand, what we are, of course, we are working, that is, of course, government is doing that, is one of the things what is moving is the FTAs. Whether it is the FTA with the GCC after the CEPA or Australia, EU, UK has happened, and it will be a big boost for our sector. So that is the second thing what we are looking from the government. Third thing, what we are looking from the government is one of the things what I think Rupa Madam, from the time when Rupa Madam was there, we are working with the government, is the availability of gold for the exporter. Now, availability of gold for domestic market is not an issue. You go anywhere, you can get enough amount of gold for manufacturing jewelry and selling it to the local market. At the same time, the duty-free gold, which we have through policies which are supposed to have by the smaller manufacturers or maybe in the smaller cities and etc., that is not available at that way how we want to do it. In fact, in some cases, not available at all. So this is one area what we have a large demand with the government. This is what we are working right now with the government, and we look at it that in budget there are specific, technical suggestions what we have told to the government that should happen. Third thing what we are telling is interest subvention. Now, when you talk about interest subvention, it matters much more for us, but ultimately because we are a job worker. Why you are a job worker in terms of gems and jewelry? Because whatever value addition we are doing, we are doing the value addition in terms of labor. Because we do not produce, there is no mine of gold here. There is a very small mine which does not produce anything, so we import the gold. We have no mine of diamonds, so we import the diamonds. All these are raw materials. So with these raw materials, we put it into jewelry, manufacture the jewelry, and then we sell it off. In that value addition, the maximum content is the labor content into that, the manufactured component into India. So why for us the interest subvention is important? Because let's say we import the gold or we import the diamonds for manufacturing, then that import is, let's say today in the jewelry, the gold or diamonds together cost around 90 to 95 to 97%. So if that component we are importing, because that we have to buy in cash. Once we buy in cash, so we take the money from the banks and then it takes some, let's say, somewhere from 2 months to 6 months to manufacture the products and sell it in the market. And realization maybe 9 months. So in that time, when the money is with the bank, because we have taken the money to just buy the raw materials and create this value add, if we give the interest to the bank, that interest is coming from the labor's wages itself. So that is where we are trying to tell the government that why don't you give the money in as per the international terms at the rate what internationally it is available. In our case, still now, the money is costly in terms of interest, and we are telling them give us a level playing field in that case. So that can be one big thing what we are trying to get from the government is that. And the third thing, of course, it comes with the same thing, that at least the MSME segment should have the bank finances adequately to buy these goods and manufacture it and export it. These are in the short form, we can tell you which are the major demands, and these are the major demands what we are right now pitching with the government.
Thank you, Mr. Sabyasachi Ray. Viewers, thank you for being with us. I think we have a diamond-studded conversation here. Thank you.